Morning to you, how are you?
Morning, Jay.
It's a busy week and there's loads of news to get to, but the main reason you're here is because we've got Ryan Burnett on the line ahead of an absolutely massive fight for him. Ryan, good morning to you as well.
Morning, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, how's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Looking bright and fresh this morning, Ryan.
Going straight back to bed after this.
Is today your off day?
Today's my off day, so
sorry for dragging you up in the morning.
Aye, all right.
Fair play to you. How are you getting on? How's your training going?
Adam's just shouted in the background. He knows Thursdays is an off day.
Some days it's a Wednesday, some weeks it's a Wednesday, so tell him it's his fault for the inconsistency.
We can't see him, but he does.
How are you, boo? Yeah, doing good. You're live on Irish.
Mornings now then, huh?
Yeah, I'm on the morning show now to get me up.
A normal life.
Yeah, well, I'm up early with the baby, so it's good.
How is she?
She's doing great, yeah. She's doing great. Are you Claire?
So you got 3 for 1.
Yeah. Ryan, you're preparing for this fight just over 3 weeks, over 3 weeks ago, a couple of days over 3 weeks. Jan-Fres Parejo. What do you know about him? What's your assessment of him? What do you think of him?
He's a good boxer. He's very clean. He does the basics very well. Adam's looked at him, studied him, and Adam's told me exactly what to do. So day in, day out, we're in the gym and we're just practicing on the correct techniques, what to do on the night to get the win.
He's a very slick boxer. From what I've seen of him, like you have one shared opponent, Zakyanov, your last fight, and that was a very, very close fight. You know how tough Zakyanov is yourself. Yeah. Have you watched that fight? Have you studied it? What did you take away from that fight, or the fact that they fought so closely? Kind of know that you're in for a hard fight.
Yeah, well, if I'm honest, I don't rely on that. People are saying to me, you beat a guy who beat him. How does that make you feel and stuff? And to be honest, I'm not relying on that at all. I'm just going in the gym every day and focusing on exactly what I have to do to be able to beat him. Yeah,
but in that fight, it could have went either way. It was a very, very close fight, so you were right to have that attitude.
It was a close fight, so it just goes to show that I can't overlook anybody. You know, I know exactly what I'm in for on the night, but I've been here before, I've done it all before, and I know exactly what to do. And
just going back to your training now, you're training alongside Michael Conlan, who's just joined the gym. Obviously, Josh Kelly's been there with you now for the last year or so. How is it going? Are you working together? Are you pushing each other on, or how's it working with those guys?
It's brilliant. It's a really, really good buzz at the moment. We're all talented lads, and we're all bounce off each other. And if one of us see the other one working harder, then we all wanna jump on board and work hard. So it's good. There's a good energy in the gym at the moment.
You being now you're a world champion, and I know you're only 25, but you're the oldest or the most experienced of the lads. Definitely. Yeah. Do you feel there's an onus on you to be the leader in the gym now that I'm gone?
Yeah. I don't know. I've sort of taken over your role. People come to me and ask me for questions. When you used to be in the gym, everyone used to come to you and ask you questions. So now I've sort of taken over that role a little bit.
And what about this? I'll show you a spar with Michael Conlan now. Can you give us any insight into how those have gone?
Yeah, we started doing at the start. It was a bit tense between us both, but we got warmed into the sparring and we started giving each other a bit of a bashing, which was all fun and games. You
punched the tension out of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're fighting March 31st. One of the chief supports of Anthony Joshua's fight, a huge unification heavyweight fight. Yeah. In the Principality Stadium, huge arena. How are you feeling about that? Is there any nerves, or what's your mental approach to this fight?
To be honest, I'm just looking at it like every other fight. It's just another fight to me. If I'm honest, it doesn't really matter whereabouts in the world it would be. I'd be going there with the same attitude and the same mindset of exactly what to do. And that's just the way I'm approaching this one. I'm focused on the fight and I know exactly what to do, and that focus is just going to prepare me for anything that happens on the night. So walking out a massive stadium of 80,000, if I'm honest, I don't think it's gonna faze me at all.
Well, knowing you, I think you'll get a great buzz from it, and it'll even raise your level. But there's a great show on Sky On Demand if anyone's got it. It's called Ryan Burnett, My Greatest Night, and you can download it and watch it. In that show, you talk about just switching off, or just you click your fingers in the show. What have you done to have that? Have you worked on that, like consciously worked on that kind of switch? You talk about switching on when you walk into the dressing room, then when you walk into the fight, switching off. What have you done to prepare that way and to be ready to be able to do that?
It's all about working on your subconscious mind, and what you tell your subconscious mind is what your body will do naturally. So through training camp, I work on my subconscious mind, constantly repeating stuff. So when the time comes, I can switch off my body, and my body knows exactly what to do without me consciously trying to control it. So during my training camps, I keep telling myself things, what to do in different situations, and gradually that sinks into my subconscious mind. So on the night, I don't need to think. My body already knows exactly what to do.
What are you telling yourself, and how did you get good at this? How did you learn all that stuff?
To be honest, I've been looking at it for years and years, and I started talking to Adam about it, and Adam agrees about the subconscious mind and how the mind works and stuff. So we both sit down and we both talk about things, about different shot selections and what to do in different times, and sort of you keep repeating yourself these things, and on the night they happen naturally.
Have you done this before? Is this like perfecting the strategy at this point for you, or is this kind of the beginning of it?
No, I think in the past I've done it quite a bit in my career, but I've never really did it to a big level. It was sort of just myself doing it. But about a year ago, I started talking to Adam about it, and he couldn't agree more. And since then, we just work on it bit by bit. I would talk to him about stuff, he would talk to me about stuff, and we would just work on it. And like I said, you build it up in your subconscious mind, and on the night, it happens, and you're not in control of it. It's just happening. Everything that you've told your body what to do, it sort of just does by itself.
Do you have triggers then in the middle of the fight where if things aren't going your way, or if you come out and you start to think about stuff, that you can go back into them?
Yeah, that's just all about how you focus your mind and how you prepare your mind. I think I'm very good at preparing my mind correctly, so I know when to switch on, switch off, and how to, if anything happens in the fight. Like when I fought Haskins, I got a massive cut in my head, and I could immediately refocus myself, and instantly just forgot about it and cracked on with exactly what I needed to do.
Andy, you worked, I think, with Jerry Hussey for a while, the sports psychologist. Was it this kind of stuff that you were doing, or was it?
That was very early when I was still an amateur. Yeah, but I think, like Ryan said, you kind of constantly you're doing it yourself when you're training as a fighter, because you have to kind of talk to yourself every session, especially when you're training with Adam. You know, the sessions are brutal, so you're kind of talking to yourself all the time. And then with Adam, he's very much part, like he like more than other trainers that I've worked with, the mental side of the game. He very much is hands-on with that and talks about that. And I think it's individual to each fighter that he'll like tailor. Some sort of, I'm sure, like with Ryan, it's kind of affirmations. And with me, it was different things, like you just would say a couple of words like loose, keep your shoulders loose, keep stepping the feet, and that would always trigger something else in me, that would kind of reset me. If he saw me kind of getting tense or going down a path in a fight that was against the game plan, he would just say a couple of words and that would kind of reset me. But Ryan seems to have gotten it himself, to a sense that, especially watching that show on Sky Sports, that he got cut and within a second he was back on the game. It didn't bother him at all. He'd never been cut in his life before that point. So Ryan is one of, like, you just see Ryan train. He's one of the mentally, he's very tough. Mentally he's very, very tough because he pushes himself every day. Right, I just wanted to ask you, like, now that you have your former unified champion, now that you are world champion, are you worried about that hunger? Now that you're kind of living more, you're in your life, you're more comfortable in yourself, you've achieved your goal, you're more at peace. Do you worry about losing that hunger in any sense?
Not one bit. When I came over here on our first week, we were doing the hill sprints, and I did the hill sprints, and Adam had told me take it easy because I haven't trained for so long, and I pushed myself to the absolute limit.
I heard you were puking.
I was vomiting and to get into the car, and I wasn't feeling too good. So I definitely know that the drive's still there. Definitely.
Good stuff. Good to hear.
What's next for you then? Obviously, this fight's a huge fight for you, but like, have you mapped out Are you allowed as a fighter to think beyond, this is what I would like the next couple of years to look like? Because you're getting very close to being somebody who's going to be involved in super fights pretty soon.
No, I don't. I don't. In the boxing sense, I don't look too far ahead. I only focus on what's right in front of me. I don't look over that in any way at all. So I'm just completely focused on March 31st, and once I've won on March 31st, I'll then look at what's next.
In terms of the division as a whole, Ryan, what's your view on it kind of on a worldwide level? Are you watching many fighters? Like, I know we were chatting with Andy a couple of weeks ago about the likes of Lewis Neri and stuff like that. I mean, is he a boxer you like to watch? Is there an influence, I guess is what I'm asking here, that's currently fighting in the ring around the world?
I don't look at any boxer. I really don't care about any bantamweight in the world. I just focus on myself. I don't go and study other people on my weight. That's Adam's job. I just completely focus on myself.
I mean, obviously that gives you a lot of self-confidence. In terms of like just understanding exactly what the challenges are in the division, you don't do any analysis really, or do you allow the analysis to come to you? I guess you've kind of answered that a little bit by saying you let Adam do that, but yeah. Are you curious about what they're doing and what's successful for them?
No, I'm not curious one bit. This guy Pereiro, who I'm boxing, I've never watched him. Adam showed me a quick 30-second clip of him, and that was all I really needed to see. I leave it down to Adam. Adam comes into the gym and says, right, this is the shot that's going to work and this is the shot that isn't going to work, so you have to do this and you don't do this. And that's just what I completely focus on.
Last question then for you. In terms of the next couple of weeks, you begin to taper down relatively soon. How is the weight going for you? Are you an angry last couple of weeks? Looking forward to a nice meal afterwards, or are you okay with the weight at the minute?
Yeah, I'm okay at the weight. Everyone in the gym says I'm a bit aggressive or so, but I don't think I am whatsoever. I think I'm completely fine. So yeah, I feel good.
Smile, so it's almost like you don't believe it.
I don't know. It's hard to say. They all say I'm really aggressive and I get very moody, but I just think I'm a nice, easygoing lad.
What's the truth, Andy?
Well, he has a nickname. I don't know if he'd like me to reveal it now. But it kind of reveals a lot about himself. Ryan, can I tell him your nickname?
It's not a nickname.
Yeah.
So don't put it out there as if it's a nickname. It is no nickname. It's just something that the lads call me a little bit.
We call him the Piranha. Ryan the Piranha. Because, well, he's hungry in terms of his desire, but he's also hungry when he's getting down to 8'6". He's he would take your head off if you say the wrong word. But congratulations, Ryan, and good luck with the fight. And,
cheers, mate.
You know, we're all in your corner.
Cheers.
Thanks a million for joining us. Good man. Thanks a million.
Nice one. Thanks very much.
Adam Booth obviously in the background shouting, I agree as well.
Well, I know Ryan's probably like sitting behind the laptop that he's on is probably like Adam, you know, and they're all probably making faces. Yeah, Josh, and I think Michael Conlan's gone to America now already. But yeah. So it seems like they've gotten a good, just from looking at their Instagram and stuff like that. And Adam's been sending me videos. They've struck up a good friendship himself, Burnett, Conlan Burnett and Kelly. And they're all around the same age and kind of seems like they're that same generation, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of.
What's the tension that he was talking about there? Just
I don't think they would have been that not friendly, but they wouldn't have knew each other because they never would have came across each other that much. They fought each other as amateurs, right. Burnett and Conlan. So they wouldn't have been. They wouldn't. Conlan won it. Yeah, Burnett thinks he won it. It's disputed. You know, it was a fight in the stadium. So. Since then they wouldn't have probably seen each other, wouldn't have been in the same circle. So I'm sure now the respect is earned.
Yeah,
it is earned in that gym.
There's clearly an unbelievable amount of trust there between Ryan and Adam, as in when he says there that he does all the prep for the opponent, and I'm just going to load myself up with whatever he says. And that thing that he talks about in terms of the subconscious is also very interesting, that you're essentially putting your entire fate in somebody else's hands to train you in that way, that you will become capable of fighting this opponent, and it's loaded into your subconscious on that level. So there's a lot going on there, and ultimately it's all down to the trust that he has in Adam Booth.
Yeah, I think that it's essential. You have that trust when you go back into the corner. You know, when you're in a fight, you're fighting for your life. That you have that trust, that undying trust in the man who's advising you, and if he's telling you to jab or to move, then you take that advice. But I remember one time when I was training with Adam, and Adam would be a very vocal coach, especially in sparring, and throw this punch, do this, do that throughout the round. And one time, like, this was going on for ages, and then I just went back to the corner and I said, like, Adam, just in this round, just don't speak, and let me work it out. And that was probably my best round. And after that, I went for the spar, I continued the spar, and he said, what happened that round? And I'm like, I said to him, like, by the time you were telling me to do a thing, by the time I had the time to think about a process and do it, it was too late. It was too late. And the subconscious mind is I don't know how many times, but it's a lot more quicker than the actual processing mind. So you can see things yourself. And Ryan is very good at seeing things himself, and figuring things out. In those fights, with Haskins, he adapted his game and it kind of out-tricked the trickster in Haskins. And same with Zakyanov, who's a bruiser, who's a battler and a brawler. He realised that boxing wasn't going to work, and after he could see, he switched mentally and he started to bully Zakyanov. So he did that himself, and
these super bantamweights and bantamweight fights are brutal because it's people who have really shrunk down to get to the weight and have come back up, and they're generally very well matched for what they're doing, and they throw thousands of punches. So, like, you can't really have some people have gone on to have really long careers at this, but, like, Burnett has a chance now over the next couple of years to get in, make his money, and get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what he wants to do. He's not a guy, I wouldn't say he's a guy who studies the game, who, as you say, doesn't watch any of the fight. I think he's a guy who's solely focused on himself. I don't think he has a great love for boxing, in the sense that he's a student of the game. When you think about the bantamweight division, like, there's not many of them, because it is such a brutal. So, like, there'd be a pool of maybe 7 or 8 bantamweights from the UK, and maybe 7 or 8 from Europe, and then 7 or 8 from America. And those guys are literally fighting each other, all the time. They build up their records, and once they get to a certain level, they have to fight each other. And as you see, Jamie McDonald is going to Japan to fight Inuan, and that's a unification fight. And I think once Ryan, like Paul Butler's who's going to fight for now Ryan's vacant IBF belt against Rodriguez, and I think he'll probably come through that. So that could be a future fight for Ryan if he comes through on the 31st.
Okay, and one last thing, Michael Conlan joining Adam Booth, that's a great move for him, right?
Brilliant move. I think it's a great move, yeah. Not only to be with Adam, but also to be with Ryan. And Charlie Edwards is in the gym, and Lucian Reid. They're all around the same weight. They'll spar and bounce off each other, and he'll progress. Not like being with Adam, but also being with Ryan. So they
can drive each other on.
Yeah, they'll drive
having a world champion in the gym is no bad thing at all.